Hi guys and dolls, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Okay, so let's just jump right in, shall we? Alright, so this happened a while back when I had met a guy through my friend's husband's friend. Okay, they were both in the military. All of them were in the military except for the wife. She was my friend, but she wasn't in the military. She was a civilian. And I had met this, I didn't realize I had that clip in my hair. That's always cool. Anyway, so I had met this person and we were seeing each other for, I'm not sure the time frame. Maybe it was a few months or something. I'm not really sure. It was not really a long time. And he was doing a lot of bullshit in a small span of time. He was future faking, telling me that he's going to get out of the military and he's going to work for a civilian contractor in Puerto Rico, and asked me, how do you feel about moving to Puerto Rico? You do not ask people that unless you're serious. If you are BSing, do not play childish games with adults. That's going to piss them off. Just saying, all right? So that was one thing. And I'm going to use her real name because I really don't care. So the hoe that he couldn't get enough of was D. And according to him, D was a stalker. D was all over him. D would not leave him alone. And I said, change your number. Call the police on her if she shows up, you know. And so that's the story he was running with, is she was just all over him, okay. So I was getting a ride from one of his co-workers. She was giving me a ride to work, I think it was. I think she was bringing me to work. Anyway, I was a nanny at that time for another military person. I was a nanny for her son. So anyway, I happened to be talking to her about this person and D, and how he couldn't get rid of her and she was all over him, and on and on and on. So then I just, you know, we just casually talked about it in the car. And I said, yeah, she's just really, she's not getting a clue that he doesn't want to be bothered. And she said, is that the story he's telling you? What? Is that what he's telling you? And I said, yeah. She said, that's not true. That's not true at all. I said, oh, really? She said, yeah. He's more than happy and more than willing to have D all over him. And I'm like, okay. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. So I broke up with him. I'm glad I was not intimate with him because he was getting more than enough from D and he loved every second of it. All right. They were even at my friend's house, and she's pretty religious, okay? D and him were sitting at the table, and she's like this in his ear, right in front of them. Which tells me that you're a skank and a hoe. Okay, you don't do that in front of other people. You don't do that at their house. You don't do that in front of religious people. They get very offended about things. You don't do that. But when you're a hoe, that's exactly what you do. She has no class. So fast forward to, I had gotten rid of his ass, lying, future faking ass, and I started seeing someone else. I didn't know that the person I was seeing was the son of a bitch that I was going to get married to later. I didn't be in a hellish position for 20 plus years, which you guys are well versed on. Anyway, so I was seeing him, and didn't, like I said, didn't know he was a monster, but that's not the point. That's neither here nor there. And obviously me and this other person that I was seeing, that I got rid of, my life, your life and my life don't have anything to do with each other anymore because we're no longer together. So then my girlfriend calls me, who's friends with him, the guy I used to see. She calls me and she says, can you please talk to him? He's asking for you. He's suicidal. He's driving around. The military can't find him. I said, how do you know he's suicidal? She said, the military police, because he went AWOL, and the military doesn't think that's funny, nor do they think that's cute. They're coming after you. So the military police were all over his house looking for him, and they couldn't find him. But they found a note on the kitchen table or on the countertop that said, I want to be buried next to my mother in New York. When you hurt me and you lie to me and you future fake with me and you bullshit me, all of my feelings for you are completely gone. They're vanished in a puff of smoke. So no matter how hellish your life gets, I don't really care. I withdraw so far from it that I don't even know who the hell you are anymore. So she called me and she said, he's asking for you. He's asking for you. I said, for what? For what? Let him go call D. She can't get enough of him any other time, so he needs to call her. It's real funny. She obviously wasn't there for him. She'll be there when her legs are open, but she won't be there when everything hits the fan, which a lot of people aren't there. They're selfish motherfuckers. Let's just keep it real. Your average person is selfish as fuck. All right? So when shit hits the fan, they're like, I'm out. I wasn't there for him because we're no longer a couple and you bullshitted me and lied to me. So I don't care what goes wrong in your life. That's not my concern. Please call him. Please call him. He's asking for you. He's asking for you. The only reason I called him is because she was in my ear and wouldn't get out of my ear. Call him. Call him. Blah, blah, blah. Fine. To shut her yap, I will call him. I'm not going to be nice when I call you because I don't like you. Regardless of what you're going through, I'm not going to be empathetic towards that because I don't give a shit. You treated me like garbage. So I'm sorry. I'm not going to be your bestie when things hit the fan. So I called him and I'm not nice. I'm just going to keep it real. I wasn't nice. I said, what are you doing? I called him up on the phone. I said, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just going through something right now. It's just, this, that, and the other. I said, don't diminish what you're going through because the military police found a letter in your kitchen that said you want to be buried next to your mom. What the hell are you doing? And that's how I'm going to be towards you because you're an asshole to me. That's just the way it is. So he was talking all this, I'm just going through something. You need to turn yourself in because the military police are looking for you. So you need to turn your ass in. And I believe he did. Otherwise you're going to get court-martialed and all this other stuff. This is the Air Force branch. The area that this happened in is a small little itty-bitty teensy-weensy town that's military. It's the home of the B-2 bomber in Knob Noster, Missouri. Knobnoster, Knob Noster. It's a town about that big. It doesn't even have a grocery store. It has absolutely nothing, okay? Used to have a grocery store and they felt the need to get rid of that. So I guess if you live there, you don't need groceries, I suppose. I don't know. So anyway, some people might think that's cold. I don't think it's cold at all because I'm not your responsibility. You're not my responsibility anymore. And, you lied to me about Dee. And so call her. Call her. Or did she not answer the phone because you still have your pants on? Oh, did I go there? Yes, the hell I did. I don't give a shit. Make it easier. Jump in a great white's mouth. Jump in a shark's mouth. It'll be easy. I'm just not going to be sweet to you when you treated me like I was dirt. I'm just not going to do it. Some people call it, oh, it's because you're a Scorpio. Okay. I don't put a lot of credence in signs, astrological signs, but apparently I've heard numerous people say, "Oh, you Scorps, nobody needs to make y'all mad. Y'all will go for blood and all this other stuff." I'm not going to do that unless I feel that you have no respect for me. Okay? I don't do that for kicks. So, bottom line is, if somebody is lying, tricking, deceiving, lying, tricking, deceiving you, playing victim because their ex is all over them, and then you find out that they love every second of it, he can't keep his pants on around her. I'm sure she, took it against his will. Give me a break. You think you're dealing with Susie Sausage Head? Forget about it. So I suppose he turned himself in eventually. I don't know what the military does with you, if they make you court-martial you anyway and do a mandatory psych eval. I would think that they would do all that and more. I don't know. But here's the weird part. Well, weirder part, right? As if that wasn't weird enough. You done risked everything for this bitch. This classless bitch. You done risked everything. Risked a relationship with a decent woman. Me. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm not promiscuous. I'm not in and out the clubs every night. You've risked everything. And you never ended up with the whore in the end. You never even stayed with her. How often in life does that happen? That happens a lot. Where people are stepping out with this person because you cannot keep your legs closed or keep your clothes on, or can't keep your pecker in your pants, whatever your damn problem is. You can't stay dressed. But then you risk everything, your relationship, your career, you risk everything for this person. And y'all went through all of that shit and you don't even stay together. He ended up marrying some other chick and having a kid with her, which, truth be told, I don't know why he had a kid with her, because you can't even take care of the daughter you have. What? You can't even take care of the kid you got. What in the hell are you doing making another one? But whatever. I'm glad she got stuck with him and not me. I'm glad she got stuck with him instead of me. The hell with you. All right? Have D hold your hand while you being psych evaled. Okay? She ain't gonna do all that, because as soon as life got serious, she ran. When she was required to keep her clothes on, she was out the door. So that's what you signed up for. That's what you should have kept her. It's just asinine. You have to have boundaries, and you have to put a limit on people and their bullshit. When I don't even remember if he denied still being involved with her. I don't remember. I just remember getting rid of him. You want her so bad? She wants you so bad? Go for it. I will put a bow around you and hand you to her. Okay? So, I don't know whatever happened with him. I don't think he's in the service anymore. I saw him many, 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 many years later, and I'm like, oh, God. Y'all ever have that? Where you run into somebody who you're not particularly fond of, and you see them in public? Awkward. So, yeah. That's what happened when he was suicidal. Figure it out, boo. Hobag wasn't there in his corner. Exactly. You stupid. Y'all deserve each other. But like I said, he didn't end up with her. Ended up with somebody else. So, whatever. Back then, when I first came to Missouri, I was married to the first one. And he wasn't necessarily a narc, but he had ED, and I don't mean couldn't perform in bed. ED as in emotionally dead. Another one of those. Just unfazed by everything. So that's how I ended up in Missouri, and I eventually got tired of his shit, and after 6 years, I'm like, I'm done. Very good looking. Doesn't raise his voice or scream or anything. Pretty chill, but very emotionally dead. things that would normally excite other people, that make them go, oh my God, that's beautiful, or that's great, wow. He's just like, yeah, it's cool. Really? Pretty sure I told y'all when the same individual, we never got married in church. We got married by the justice of the peace, okay? And I always wanted to be married in church. And so I surprised him. Y'all, I've talked about this in another video, but for those who haven't seen it, I went and got a rental wedding gown, and I tried it on, and it fit me like a glove. And I picked him up from work. He didn't know how to drive a stick at the time. In fact, he didn't know how to drive, period, at that time. We eventually, you know, got him to driving and all that stuff. But at the time, I was his chauffeur. So picked him up from work, and I showed him the gown, and I was very excited, and had sequins on it and all this other, girls like sparkle, what can I say? And I don't know if this is a typical man thing or this is just how he is, but instead of being excited, like, damn, you look good, you look really pretty, he was just, I said, isn't this nice? Isn't this pretty? And he was like, yeah, it's nice. It's cool. If I want to be with someone who has no emotions, I will go to Sears department store. For those who don't know, I would go to Sears and ask them, can I have one of their mannequins? One of their male mannequins. Because this is just ridiculous. Did not communicate about problems. I find that a lot of people, instead of addressing their own flaws, they will defend, and defend. And as long as you continue to defend yourself, you're not admitting that you're wrong, and you're not doing any type of self-introspection. You're just defending yourself. Okay? Or you shut down and you don't communicate at all. You don't resolve issues because you just pretend they're not there. Or you defend. And a lot of times people defend themselves, or they counterattack. Well, you're not perfect either, and you did this wrong and that right. That's not the point. We can slam the hell out of me, and we can talk about how I'm the worst thing since sliced bread after we deal with this issue. But right now, we're talking about you. Okay? So let's not even go there. And then people wonder why their relationships fail, because you don't know how to fucking communicate. And if you don't know proper communication and you don't take any responsibility for your flaws, and we all have them, you're going to die alone. That's the reality. You could face that, take it or leave it. You're going to die alone until you learn self-introspection and you start to look at what your flaws are, and you start working on those flaws, and you admit, I didn't realize I was doing that. I'm sorry. How those are the two hardest things to say. Two hard words are, I'm sorry. The other two hard words to say are, thank you. People don't know how to say thank you anymore either. They just act self-entitled. And you wonder why I love animals. Because they're easy. Okay? They're easy. They either love you or they don't. They don't pretend they love you and manipulate you for everything they could get, and then they withdraw from you. They don't do that. But then again, when you're used to having abusive people, when you find someone who's not abusive, you kind of want to hold on to that person because you're like, wow, this one doesn't do that. But then you find out that that person doesn't necessarily do that, but they also don't have any real concerns about your concerns because they don't communicate properly. And a person's going to take but so much of that before they stop communicating with your dumb ass all the way around the board. No more communication because you don't know how to fucking do it, and you don't want to learn how to do it. The fact that you don't know how to do it isn't the problem. A bigger problem is You won't acknowledge that you have a problem, and then you defend, and you don't say I'm sorry, and you don't make a concerted effort to change. As long as you keep acting simple in the head, you're going to be alone. Male or female, this isn't gender specific. You got to learn how to communicate without getting defensive. Shut the fuck up with your defending. Stop. Mistake numero uno. Cut that shit the fuck out. Unless the person's lying on you. You tripped me and I fell down the stairs. If that's not true, of course you're going to get defensive. Why would I trip you? I'm not a mean-spirited person, right? So obviously you would defend in a situation where you're being lied on or exaggerated on or something like that. But if it's the truth, it don't have to feel great to you, but you need to shut the hell up and be an adult and take responsibility for how you are. And just because it's worked for you in the past, that don't mean fuck all with the present. Because every day is an opportunity to change. Every day is opportunity for growth. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen your weak parts, the weak parts of yourself. That's life. Everybody has flaws. I mean, me, I only have a few. You can't improve on perfection, okay? I'm perfect. No, I'm kidding. I have flaws too, just like everybody else. I've told you that before. I'm not one of those YouTubers that my feet don't touch the ground because I have millions of subscribers. First of all, numbers like that do not impress me. Don't get me wrong. If I was a huge YouTuber and I had millions of subscribers, that's cool. I would love every single one of them. But that doesn't rev my engine. That doesn't make me feel macho or macha. Oh, look at me. Look at my numbers. That don't mean shit to me. I mean, come on. In the grand scheme of things, come on, man. That's just numbers, and that doesn't mean that you're no longer human and that you are a superhero and you press on your belly button and your hair is combed and your teeth are brushed and you're dressed for work. I mean, it takes 5 minutes. Press on a belly button. Unless you're a superhero, then that's a different story. But for regular, normal folks, we all have flaws and we all have to work on them every single day. So I got tired of bashing my head against the wall with him and zero communication. You're talking to a wall. People do not get turned on by talking to a wall unless they have a wall fetish. And if you do, that's on you. I personally don't have a wall fetish. Okay. That doesn't get me going. So if you don't have communication and you don't care about your partner's needs, you're going to die alone. Period. You're going to die alone. And if that's what your goal is, go for it. Go for it. Every single person has flaws. Every single person has to work on themselves every single day. You will never reach the point of perfection. Never. Never. And I'm not going to put a gun to your head and force you to talk to me. If you don't want to talk to me, I will shut down. I will become a machine and I will shut down. And that's what I did. So, yeah. That's the way it goes. We were together for 6 years, and that was 6 years too long in my book. So it was like being involved with a dead person. It just doesn't do anything for me at all. Yeah, learn what emotions are, dude. Read a book on how to communicate with women, or self-help books are a good thing. They're not something to be ashamed or embarrassed by, but men are the last people on the planet to do that. I don't need to do that. I'm a macho man. I don't have to improve on anything. Okay. All right. Keep it up. Keep it up. So anyway, so that's the story there. That's my little mini story time. Y'all be cool and try to stay cool where you are. In Missouri, we're in a heat wave. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do with myself. I think it was close to 100 today. I don't remember. Today was the first day of the college kids going back, and their first day of class was the hottest day of the year so far. Whew, gotta love that. No, not really. You guys take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.